Well, there aren't words to describe the grief and anger that our city will be feeling today. I'm appalled and furious that these cowardly terrorists will deliberately target innocent Londoners and bystanders enjoying their Saturday night. There can be no justification for the acts of these terrorists, and I'm quite clear that we will never let them win, nor will we allow them to cower our city or Londoners.
Now, 6 people have been killed, many more injured. What do we know about the victims?
Well, I've been in close contact with the Met Police Commissioner and senior officers throughout the night. 6 people have been killed. More than 40 have been injured and taken to hospitals across London. Some of them, I'm afraid, are critical. I want to say this, though. The emergency services reacted heroically and brilliantly last night. Not only did they tackle the terrorists, but they helped the injured. And as a result of their swift action, fewer people have died than would otherwise be the case, but also the severity of the injuries are less bad than they could have been.
In terms of the police reaction, it was very quick for them to apprehend the individuals involved. Are you confident that the threat is over, that they've caught all of the people involved?
Look, I've been the mayor now for 13 months, and that reinforces my view we have the best police and security services in the world. They plan, prepare and rehearse for these sorts of incidents, and we saw their swift response last night. We saw the speed with which they shot the terrorists and also how they helped the injured as well. There are certain things I'm not allowed to talk about yet, but I'm sure after the government COBRA meeting later, which I'll be attending, the head of counter-terror and others will be able to tell the public what's going on. I would say this, though. People should remain calm and vigilant, carry on their normal business. The threat level remains at severe, and that's assessed by JTAC, who are independent intelligence experts. Severe means an attack across the country is still highly likely, and so we've got to all be vigilant. If we see anything suspicious or are worried about anybody, please report it to the authorities.
And what will you be discussing at the COBRA meeting?
Well, COBRA meetings are where the Prime Minister chairs with various bodies around the table, agencies, police experts, including the members of the government, and we'll be looking at the investigations that unfolds, which normally happens after these sorts of horrific attacks. And then after COBRA, I'm sure the police will be making a statement.
Now, this is the second attack of this kind in London, this kind of low-intensity attack, where you've got somebody using a vehicle and then using knives. You know, how do you stop this kind of thing from happening in London? Is there a way? Well,
just like terrorists are constantly evolving, finding new ways to disrupt us, harm us, attack us, the police and experts and all of us are finding new ways to keep us safe. Londoners will see an increased police presence today and over the course of the next few days. No reason to be alarmed. One of the things the police and all of us need to do is make sure we're as safe as we possibly can be. I'm reassured that we are one of the safest global cities in the world, if not the safest global city in the world. But we always evolve and review ways to make sure that we remain as safe as we possibly can.
But there'll be many people out there who'll see what happened and think, actually, it's too dangerous to go out. What would you say to those people?
One of the things that these terrorists want to do is to disrupt our way of life. They want to stop us enjoying the freedoms that we have, enjoy us mingling and mixing on a Saturday night in the heart of London, having a good time. They want to stop us voting on Thursday in the general elections and enjoying the democracy that we have. We can't allow them to do that. We aren't going to be cowed by terrorism, nor will we let them win. And we've shown in previous years and previous decades our stoicism, and we'll show that again today over the course of the next few days and weeks.
You mentioned the terror threat before, that it was brought back down to severe after being at critical. Bearing in mind what's happened overnight, was that a mistake?
No, I don't think so. JTAC are experts independent from politicians who analyse all the intelligence they have. For the last few years now, the threat level has been severe, and that's across the country. That means an attack is highly likely. In the immediate days following the Manchester attack, it was raised to critical because the police and experts were still pursuing line of inquiries and they weren't sure if other people were involved in the attack in Manchester. And critical means an attack is imminent. They've reduced it to severe, but it's still at a very high level. That means an attack is highly likely. That's why all of us have a responsibility to be vigilant. If we see anything suspicious at all, please report it to the authorities and the experts. But over the course of today and the next few days in London, you'll be seeing an increased police presence, some of it armed officers, some of it uniformed officers, some of it plainclothes officers, all working incredibly hard to keep us safe.
Now, this has happened just days before a general election. The Manchester attack again, that happened during the election period. There was the attack on Westminster, again an attack on our democracy. Is Britain's democracy under attack? Is that the sense that you're getting?
Look, my focus today will be responding to the attack last night and making sure we're doing all that we can to keep our city safe. But the general election is taking place this Thursday. One of the great things about our way of life is our democracy. Our elections are a wonderful thing, and that's one of the things that these terrorists hate. And one of the things that we can do is show that we aren't going to be coward is by voting on Thursday and making sure that we understand the importance of our democracy, our civil liberties and our human rights.
The Conservatives have suspended campaigning. Do you think that that's the right move to take so soon before a general election?
Look, I can understand why people don't want to be canvassing and knocking on doors today. My thoughts are with all those affected and caught up by the horrific attack last night. But, you know, the election's going to be on Thursday. I'll be voting on Thursday. Some people have already voted by postal votes. It's important that we do all we can to make sure that we are safe. And that's one of the things that we'll be exploring at the Coburn meeting later on today.
Is there an argument for postponing the election, though?
I'm not an advocate of postponing the election. I'm a passionate believer in democracy and making sure that we vote and we recognise that actually one of the things these terrorists hate is voting. They hate democracy. They hate elections and the public choosing who should be our leaders rather than leaders being imposed on us. And I'm looking forward to voting on Thursday.
And just a final message to Londoners and to people across the UK who are worried at what's happened overnight. My
message to Londoners and visitors to our great city is to be calm and vigilant today. You will see an increased police presence today, including armed officers and uniformed officers. There's no reason to be alarmed by this. We are the safest global city in the world. You saw last night, as a consequence of our planning, our preparation and the rehearsals that take place, the swift response from the emergency services tackling the terrorists, but also helping the injured.
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.